fortunate that as Miami members, you get a Proxio Pro website at no cost to you, at absolutely no cost. And today, we're very privileged to have the Vice President of Global Sales from Proxio here. Please give a warm Miami welcome to Jose Perez.
Thank you, Deborah. Well, there's 21 reasons to move here or buy here if you're a realtor. You know what that is? You get so much free stuff to be able to sell more real estate. It's awesome. Well, first of all, how many of you are using Proxio now? Okay, beautiful. That's great. We need to get the rest of the people to raise your hands. What we're doing is we're helping you make connections around the world. And what I want to talk about today is something called social collaboration. You probably know what that is, right, Inez? Does anybody know what social collaboration is? Okay, it's a way for, it's social media on steroids. Right? So you use social media, as Inez was talking about, to have a reputation, to make connections, to sell real estate, to see what your friends are doing. Social collaboration is the next iteration of social media in a way that companies now, big companies, are using this type of platform to be able to share information amongst themselves, amongst their companies. And what we're talking about now here today is how we can apply this to real estate. Does anybody want to monetize their contacts? Right? What do we do in real estate? We know people, right? And we want to sell people real estate. And so we might have someone that wants to buy real estate in Mexico or in Brazil, or someone that we know in Brazil that wants to buy real estate in Miami. And so what we do by connecting with those people is we monetize those contacts. And what I want to talk about today is how we do that with Proxio. We have two sales platforms. One is Proxio Pro, which most of you raise your hands are on, and I'm going to talk about that here for a second. Proxio Pro is a tool that you get as part of your board membership. So when you think of Proxio Pro, think of LinkedIn or Facebook. These are ways for you to connect with other people, right? You connect, especially with LinkedIn from a business perspective. You connect with other people, you read about them, you Google them like Inez said, and you're able to do business with them. What Proxio Pro does is that same type of philosophy, but specifically to real estate. And the reason we do this is because in a lot of countries, there is no way for agents to talk to each other. All right, so we're fortunate here in the United States that we have boards like Miami and other things around the country that allow us to connect. But how do you know what agent in New York speaks your language or might have a buyer from New York that wants to buy real estate here? How do you find that agent in Los Angeles that might know a Chinese investor that might want to buy something in Miami? So by having a Proxio Pro account, you're able to develop those relationships. You're also able to translate your listings, as Deborah said, into 19 languages and 55 currencies. So now you open up the world to yourself and to your business because now you have all these ways to be able to reach agents, to be able to talk to people in their languages. And as Neil Oates, who spoke this morning, said in a Florida Realtor article that was written about him a few weeks ago, he had 11 transactions in 13 months. He doesn't speak a lick of Spanish, but he used our platform to communicate with investors in Colombia and Venezuela to be able to get them here and to be able to talk in their language. A lot of us here are Hispanic, and I can tell you that although, we all speak English, when you're dealing with someone coming from another country, whether it's Colombia in Spanish or Brazil in Portuguese or China in Chinese, if you could speak to them or show that you can communicate with them in their language, that makes them feel better. Even if they speak English, they're gonna feel better about you because you made that extra effort. And so what's this all about? It's customer service. It's being able to get people thinking that you are the one they want to deal with, just like when Inez was talking about social reputation is what's going to set you apart from the competition, and what we do with Proxio Pro is allow you to do that. Now, 2 years ago, just here in Miami, we launched a product called Proxio Showcase. How many people are on the showcase? Okay, perfect. This is another free way for you to monetize your contacts, because what we've done with Proxio Showcase is taken the philosophy of an Uber or an Airbnb. What do these companies do? They monetize people's time, in the case of Uber, so they can drive people around and you get paid. And in the case of Airbnb, they're monetizing the fact that you have a spare bedroom, so now you can rent it out. So why not apply this to real estate? How can you monetize your contacts by having something like Showcase to be able to refer people to developers, to refer people to brokers, and be able to monetize your own listings by having a better way to showcase those properties. So what we've done with Proxio Showcase is eliminate the problem of typical marketing. What's typical marketing? Websites, the portals, brochures, if you're a condominium, the sales center. All these things rely on somebody seeing you, somebody wanting more information, raising their hand and saying, hey, I want more information about this, right? And even if you use Google Analytics, you don't really see who's involved, who's doing it, who's looking at your property. So what we've been able to do is create a social collaboration model by taking the information that the developer or the broker gives us about their property and then marrying that with your profile that you have on Proxio Pro. You can follow properties just like you would follow somebody on Facebook. So a lot of the developers here in town, through Cervera, through Fortune, and others, and Coldwell Banker also, have put their properties on the platform. They're the ones that pay us. You get it for free. You get a free website where you could follow these properties, and once you start following the property, the system takes the information about the property and marries it to your profile. So now you can represent that building, that luxury listing, or whatever type of property it is with your information on it. Everything gets tracked back to you. You could post this onto Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and all the different social channels. It generates a website for you with the property. It generates a brochure for you with the property, and then you could register those leads with the owner of the property, with the broker, with the developer, etc. Would that be a great way to monetize your contacts? So I'm doing this presentation for a big broker in Washington, D.C. the other day, and she asked me this question. She says, Jose, I have a $5 million listing in Georgetown, and I believe that it's near the Chinese consulate, and I think I'd like to try to find a Chinese buyer. So what you're telling me is that you might have an agent in Houston, Texas, where there's a lot of Chinese investors, who might know a Chinese investor in China that is following my listing in Georgetown and can refer me that buyer. I said, yeah, that's exactly right. That's what you call social collaboration. That's what you call monetizing your contacts. So we're all probably, some of us are from Miami. I'm not. I'm from New York. I know a lot of people in New York. So when I want to sell something in Miami, I go talk to people in New York. Do you do that? Some of you are from Colombia. Some of you are from Brazil. Some of you are from Mexico. Some of you are from China. So you use this now to be able to take all those contacts that you have all over the world and be able to go on our platform, see where we have properties, and right now we're in 7 countries. We're soon to be in probably 45 countries with this deal that we just signed, and you'll be able to go in and see where those properties are and put those on your website and be able to monetize those contacts very, very easily. So then you can register the leads, and then I go back to the developer or to the broker, and I show that Jose Perez just sent this property to this person in this country. So now the developer has an incentive, or the broker has an incentive to come to you because they want you to bring that buyer to their property because you're going to help them do business, you can help them move a transaction. So it's very powerful and something you definitely need to look at. So what we have done here is we increased your sales power. We increase your sales power by making it much more efficient. You don't have to wait for somebody to look at your advertisement. You could take something like this and see right away how it's going to benefit the person that's got the property on our platform. We also give you a way to manage these assets because, by the way, you can use this too for your listings. We just put a new feature on our platform today where we used to just do this with large brokers and large developers. Now we're making it available down to the agent level. So if you want to post a listing, you can use all this stuff yourself as well. We give a way for you to look really good because let's say you're new in the business and you don't have a lot of listings. You can go into Proxio Showcase and you can pick the properties in the areas that you think that you can monetize and be able to have a free website that helps you look really, really, really good. So we have Lennar, Coldwell Banker, Cervera, Fortune, a bunch of others here in town, and soon to be launching a couple of other big ones, so please look out for some press from us soon. So my topic here today was monetizing your contacts. All right, through social collaboration. So let's talk about your action items. What do you want to do when you leave here today? Because Deborah said she wanted me to give you information that you could walk away with, just like I did. And as I was taking notes, I have 3 things that I'm going to follow up on after your talk. Okay? For you guys, for me, here's what I want you to do. I want you to use social collaboration to interact. So not just being on our website, and obviously I want you to sign up for Proxio Showcase and Proxio Pro, but also how you use LinkedIn, how you use Facebook, how you use Twitter, how you use Pinterest. This is social collaboration, and it's not just about putting up a profile and hoping things happen. As you heard from Inez, there's a lot of work involved in doing this if you're going to do it right and you're going to be able to monetize it. Second, connect with agents globally, inside and outside South Florida. How many of you have connections with agents in other parts of the world specifically to do business here? Okay, every hand should be raised because in Miami, where are a lot of the buyers coming from? Somewhere else. So yeah, maybe you can get someone who's moving from Pinecrest to Coconut Grove or from Miami Beach to Coral Gables, okay, but there's a lot of those people that are buying these properties that are coming from other countries, and if you know agents in those other countries or in other parts of the country, you'll be able to, again, monetize your contacts. Share your listings in multiple languages. I cannot stress this enough. And I think Inez or Deborah said this also, and even Teresa talking about how we're doing the video in the multiple languages. It's so important to be able to do this. 20 years ago, people were taking all this stuff for granted. You just cannot take it for granted anymore, whether it's because someone doesn't speak our language, or maybe they just feel more comfortable in theirs. It's important for you as a realtor to be able to do that and do it right. Follow properties all over the world. Okay, when you go on Proxio Showcase, you're going to see properties in Brazil, properties in Mexico. We just signed the largest broker in Spain. We're about to sign the largest developer in Dubai. Right? Put those properties on there. If you think you're going to be able to connect someone to one of those properties, you'll be able to, again, monetize your contacts. And once again, as we've just said, we've started now to allow agents to post their own listings, and it's very inexpensive. You can get on there and do that yourselves. One final thing that I'll leave you with is that for the big development projects, we do pay a referral fee. So if you have a developer, I get calls all the time from agents saying, you know what, I wish XYZ developer was on Proxio Showcase because I really love your platform. I just signed a deal in Fort Myers because a lot of the Fort Myers agents are aware of what's happening down here in Miami, and they say, we want that in Fort Myers. So I got a call from an agent. She says, you need to go talk to this developer, and the developer put 2 of their projects on, and we paid her a referral fee. So please, if you have anything like that, just to let me know. Here's my information. And I finished with time to spare. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. That's because I